Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another show of a street man and a Christian woman. We haven't been on the air in a while, so we decided to come back and talk about marriage again and see if we could help someone. See if we could teach someone to gain the wisdom that we gained through the 20 years that we've been married and see if we can pass it on. So tonight, we're going to talk about foundation. Foundation is the beginning of the marriage because it's something that you need to have in the very beginning. A lot of people get married under assumptions that they had a baby, they just got married. Oh, we like each other, we just got married. But in the beginning, you need to build a strong foundation. And I talk a lot about this on our Instagram page. The last few posts that we've been posting, I talked about that glue. Because that glue is what the foundation need to be built on. So that way when the trials and the tribulations pass, you'll have something to hold it together. And that's why I constantly talk about that glue, because if it wasn't for that glue, I don't believe we would still be together today. But through our hard times and our trials and our tribulations, that glue is able to help us staying together. And a lot of it, people always ask, well, what is the glue? What is the glue? What is the glue? The glue is actually God. If she didn't have God in her life, I don't really believe that we'd have made it through this journey the way we did. Because in the beginning of the relationship, I was rough around the edges, just like a lot of men today. You know what I mean? Women are more so mothers by heart and nature, so they kind of put in a little bit more effort than we do. But I'm here to tell you that if you understand that you have to get the wisdom to stay married, you got to learn how to stay married. It's not going to just work just because you husband and wife and, oh, I love you and you love me and we're going to stay together forever. It's just not that easy, man. That's not just how it works. You got to have a strong foundation that you build from the beginning so that when the hard times come and the trials and the tribulations come, you got something to hold it up. It's kind of like the three little pigs. When the time comes for you to huff and puff and blow your house down, you need a strong foundation. And that's what kept us together 20 something years at this time, is because we had built a strong foundation in the beginning. We set down ground rules that we was going to have through the marriage. People just think that, oh, I like you, you like me. Again, I'm saying you got to have some rules or some bases, some things that y'all can hold on to in the marriage other than just that's my wife. That's not going to cut it, man. When it get rough and times get hard, you're going to need something to help you to hold this thing together. And that's where the glue. And the glue is God. You're going to need God in your marriage because, as I said again, if we didn't have God in our marriage, I really believe that she wouldn't have stayed with me and I wouldn't have stayed with her. So when you're building a strong foundation in your marriage from the beginning, understand that you have to have something other than just you and her to hold it together. So remember this. You got to have God in your marriage in order to make your marriage work. That way you have something else to lean on other than self. So I'm going to pretty much see what Miss Kenyatta got to say about this topic, and then I'll see if I can come back and close because I'm quite sure she have a little bit more info in this because she did the work. So on to you, Miss Kenyatta.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year 2019. Yes, it's another year. Marriage is not a top priority in today's time.
Yes.
The reason why is it hasn't been passed down generation to generation the way it used to be. The reason why I had the knowledge that I had because it was passed down to me. The one thing that I will also really stress that is not passed down because they're not teaching that no more. They're not teaching women to be in a relationship, in a marriage relationship, the way it used to be. And that makes a big difference because I had to do the work in a way that was alone, challenging, uncomfortable. Didn't have a lot of support because a lot of women just didn't support it. Some women supported it, some women didn't. And how I really made it was creating my own support group. You have to have a supportive team to be married, the right people. A lot of times, single people cannot help you in a relationship. If people are not for your relationship, they're against you, and you don't need to be around them while you're married. Being married is very serious to me. it's a priority to me. It's more prioritizing than doing just what I want. It's about being a team. Family to me is creating a team, and team have players. And my husband and I are partners. And because we are partners, sometimes I have to do 80% and 100%. I don't have to do 100% all the time, but there may be a season where a good 6 months I have to do the whole 100. And then by the time I'm tired and worn out, I'm able to get help and support from different sources. Now, the reason why my sources is different because it's about being family. Family doesn't mean I have to pay you. Family don't mean that I got to tell you all my negative situations. You know, that's the thing about support. You have to have it where you can cry and not somebody condemn you because you're having a bad time right now. Your finances is not looking the way it should be. Or something major happened in your relationship where my partner had relapsed and I got to go back to point A again. And sometimes it's easy to just withdraw and divorce. And sometimes for me, it was not. Fighting and staying in the relationship was more worth it to me because I developed muscle, strength, and wisdom. And the wisdom that I developed, you can't buy. You can't buy wisdom to keep a family. The one thing that I understand that women did do the work to keep a family in the way that today's generation, my generation, just don't do. You know, and it ain't easy just always to pay a therapist. It's not easy to just walk away because at the end of the day, you still have feelings for that person. Your kids still want a relationship with that father. So I chose to make mine work. The one thing that I do, I make sure I have resources. I have books. I have shows. I have mentors. I have a supportive team that I see fit for me that gives me the courage to do what I do. A lot of people don't like it, and you can't be a people pleaser trying to be married. Marriage is serious business for me because it's about being a family. Family is what about love, suffering, sacrificing, good times, bad times, all around. It's about being a team. And that's what this generation to me has not been shown. And we have not had great examples of it either. And we're dealing with a fatherless generation. And a lot of men don't have the support. So because of that right there, we're living in times where it's very, very rough to be a family. I mean, it's just not out here. And the thing is, you want family. You want grandkids. You want your daughter. You want your sons. You want them to have family. You don't want to let them go. The one thing that worked for me is I had to do it the way my grandfather kind of taught me. And that is let go. And he really taught my mom to let me go. Once I start a family, you have to let it go. Let go of the relatives. And because of that right there, that strong foundation, you know, being African American, you have to work harder than maybe other races have to do. That's just what I had to do. And when people see it, oh, I couldn't do what you do. You know, they're quick to degrade me. They're quick to judge me. They're quick to label me. But at the same time, don't get upset because some women choose to do the work. And being a woman myself and an African American, I got put down by a lot of women because I chose to do the work. I chose to love. I chose to labor. I chose to hang in there. And at the end of the day, he did change. At the end of the day, I did grow wisdom and muscle and endurance, something that we don't know because our ancestors did do that. That, you know, women were the rock of the family. Women held it together. At today's time, you know, we got it to where we don't know how to endure. We don't know how to get through that rough season. We don't know how to hang in there. So family have to be a priority to the person that wants it the most, whether it's a woman or a man. It don't matter. Whichever one chooses to do it, it'll work. Because at the end of the day, we are a team. We are a team, and we're trying to give back. And like I said, the wisdom is not out there the way it used to be. And to me, the world don't want it. They'd rather be independent and isolated and alone than to be a team. And for those that want it, that's what this show is for those who want it. This show isn't for everyone. We're not trying to pressure people. We're trying not to force people. These are people who want to be mothers and fathers to their children, people who want to pass down to their grandkids. Because at the end of the day, I'm a generation that's been passed down. The wisdom was passed down, and that's how I'm able to keep it family, because of the wisdom that was passed down. And if you do want it, pass it down to your generation. Thanks for letting me share. Back to you, Mr. Delgado.
Thank you, Miss Kenyatta. And you're so true about the wisdom. And what else I like to say in closing is that I posted on Instagram that we're old school marriage in the new school world, but our old school ways still kept us together. So I can't say that it's wrong when we have over 20 years of marriage, which is something that's uncommon in today's time. And we are a partner. And that's some of the things that we're talking about in building a strong foundation in the beginning. Y'all have to be partners. Your marriage is a partnership. That person got your back, got your other half. They thinking when you're not thinking. So get a strong foundation together in your marriage in the beginning, and then when times get hard, you'll have something to hold y'all together. So it feels good back doing the show. I hope this show tonight helps someone, touch someone, and reach someone and make them realize that marriage is still a beautiful thing. And you do want to pass it down because you do want your kids to get married one day so that you can have grandkids. So the family still exists, and we're trying to help it the best that we can by making and showing that it's still a beautiful thing. So, as we always say at the end of the show, love,
Love,
peace,
peace,
and togetherness,
togetherness.
and good night.